Get on that. Hey everybody, welcome to Born Alegaxcy, and we are here with Zhane, of course, me, the one and only, just kidding. And we have with us Kenetria, the one and only. And sir, how are you? Go ahead, tell the people who you are.
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me. My name is Q. I talk a lot of ish. That's what I do.
I like that. Say it out. Okay.
Ish talker.
Yes. Welcome everybody. We are here. Let me clear this up real quick. We changed our name, and so the name is Born Alegaxcy now. And we talk about challenging perspective to look at things differently from how everybody sees them, because everybody has an opinion, and that's okay. So we welcome them, and we want to talk about some things. So I'm happy to have them both here with me to talk about a couple of things. Now, I wasn't going to talk about a hot topic, but I'm just going to be honest. I really don't keep up with it, and I don't have the energy or the mindset to even go into it like that. So yeah, no. But moving forward, I feel like I want to talk about mental health when it comes to being, well, first off, in where we are right now with the whole like Ukraine and all the other extra stuff. I don't know how people stay sane in this time because there's a lot going on. So how do y'all stay sane when there's a lot going on?
Who said I was? No.
Okay, you know what I mean. Like, how do you center yourself when there's like all this shit happening at one time? And it's really not much to do with us, but like,
right. Well, a couple things. Number one, I always redefine what's important to me. I keep a daily reminder of the things that's important to me. Also, it's kind of like the serenity prayer. You have to understand the things that you don't have control over. Right. And then the question becomes, if I worry about this, then what do I have the ability to change? Now you can worry about something, and then some things can come to your mind to where this is where you can make a change, either on a world perspective, a national perspective, or a local perspective.
Right.
Or even if it's just within your family. So whatever change you can make to give yourself a resolve, then you do that. And it's in situations where you can't, then you just live with it. That's my number one. And then number two, this is going to sound a little bit weird. I'm the son of a preacher. And one of my father's specialties is a lot of end time prophecy type stuff. So I've been told about these days coming for ever since I was a little kid. So I'm just not surprised about it, and I'm kind of already prepared for the things that's gonna happen after this. So I'm like, hey, said it was gonna happen. It was gonna happen. It's happening.
Revelations.
I'm gonna keep living my life. That's pretty much it.
That part scares me. You said revelations, all that extra stuff. That's not. I don't feel like anywhere I come from, I was prepared for it like that. So I'm unaware of all that's going on. I think it's just a lot going on. I'm trying to pray for it, but maybe it's like all in his plan. I don't know.
But when is there a time when there's not a lot going on?
True.
You know what I mean? I feel like there's always something.
But not World War.
Societal, there's always been
Yeah.
something that, you know.
I mean World War III, that part, not everything else. Because everything else is like it's gonna keep happening. But that,
We haven't experienced World War III yet. So
Yeah,
let's not
right.
worry about what hasn't happened.
that
But
situation over there is a little much, basically. And everywhere I look, there's somebody popping up something about like support the Ukrainians doing this or support them this way, or it just like kind of just right thrown in your face. And I don't know, it feels kind of like, here, pay for this, like here, do this, and pay off our shit for us, basically. And I don't like that. So I don't know how to deal with it, honestly. I
that's
don't
the
know how to-
American way is kind of throw money at everything.
Yeah, that's what it
As
feels
if
like.
that's always not always a solution, but
Definitely not. In this case, I don't feel like at all. But yeah, I don't know. It's be peaceful. Be nice. Like, damn. You can get along for like 5 seconds, bro.
Would be nice.
Yeah, it would be like, and we dealing with COVID. Like, can we just get rid of all this stuff? Like, just pause for a second.
I don't know, when
Pause.
things get this chaotic, sometimes you have to stop and think that it's a good time for ministry, so to speak. You know, the more that's going on, it also can allow you to become more creative or to tap into other areas of your thinking besides worry and fear.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
beautiful
Right.
things can come from where we are right now
That's what
if
I
we
want.
allow it to. It all depends on perspective and how you view it.
Yes.
Exactly. So then that goes back to like exactly like you said, perspective. And so is it really that hectic and chaotic right now? Or has the media told us that we need to be in a state of fear or chaos, or like, this is going on now, and in the early 2000s it was in Afghanistan, in the 90s it was wars going on and all over.
Like,
So you can go literally
always.
you can go back from the time of since the World War II pretty much, and they've had invasions, genocides, wars, all those type of things going on. But a lot of times we let the media tell us what's important and what's not.
And how to respond
And
to it.
but the fact of the matter is, it's not that this is not important. It's all important.
Exactly.
All of it. The stuff that we overlooked is also important, but we learn to overlook it. And this is what I said. I said this a year and a half ago about COVID. I said, COVID is going to be over when the media gets tired of talking about it and people gets tired of, because it's not really over, but once the media they decide that they don't want to talk about it, or that story doesn't draw ratings the same way that it used to be.
That's it right there.
And then people eventually they're going to just go back to what they were doing before. And it hasn't really changed, but it's the way it's perception, since it's not being bombarded in my face every day like it was 6 months ago. Now my mind has told me that it's okay to go live my life now.
That's so freaking sad.
And that bothers me because it makes me feel like we're a bunch of millions.
I mean, we were kind of trained.
We are.
We're just conditioned to respond to things. We're my little puppets.
We are.
We orchestrate how to respond. It's like,
we
wait a
were
minute.
there, like we are.
And that bothers my spirit. I'm not that weak.
Yeah.
You know, I can't get that easily conditioned, but in a way, we really are.
But it's something that we had put in us for so long that trying to like get away from it is going to be something, I wouldn't say hard to do, because I feel like you can turn off all that stuff, but at the same time, you got to know what's like going on, be aware.
There are some people I do believe that are pulling away from that.
Yeah.
You can be aware of what's going on, but not so easily influenced by it.
Yeah.
And there's a small percentage of people that are moving away from that. You can be educated, but not be manipulated.
Dog. Like that very much. Yeah. So, educated, but not manipulated. Definitely.
So this is my other thought also. Everybody, I think the wisest people are the ones who understand that we're all drinking some of the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of some people are drinking more Kool-Aid than others.
Yeah.
For all the people, even the woke people who
Whoa,
sit there and say what you should do and you can't trust social media, where are they saying it at? On social media.
Yeah.
Like you still partaking in the same thing that you saying
Yeah.
destroying you, but
Exactly.
you just got to realize that you still drinking some of the Kool-Aid too.
Yeah.
I acknowledge,
Yeah.
even with my awareness, I also acknowledge I drink some of the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And I choose to.
Yeah.
I'm not going back to a flip phone and going and living in the woods of Montana.
Right.
That's not what I choose to do.
Yeah, we have to be accepting and appreciative of certain places that we come, because we did used to have flip phones and now we got iPhones and all other types of shit. So there's some places like, yeah, we can say we have thrived and become something.
We all benefited from it.
Yes.
We are.
To not say you didn't drink the Kool-Aid.
Let's
Like,
be real
don't
about it.
lie. Like, don't lie, bruh. That's hilarious.
We all benefit from
So
it.
that's why I'm saying, okay, so now I say people are dating, right? And they're dating in whatever they got going on right now. So how do you feel about, this is the funny topic to me, because I swear, this is not against anybody, because I feel like all guys have their
And
own
it's about to be.
mentality,
She prefacing. Let's go.
their own mindset. I'm just saying, I just feel like maybe it's just that they're not there yet, age-wise, whatever, they got to get there to where women are. But when it comes to right now, I feel like men are still, younger men are trying to figure out what they're doing. And so women, on the other hand, are trying to figure out mentally how to stay in her zone, I guess, dealing with this shit and then all this other stuff. So how mentally, how do you center yourself when you're dealing with all of that? Like, is there even a possibility of dating right now? Like, should that even be a thought to any person?
Sure, absolutely.
So you say yes. Why do you say yes?
If you want to date, you can have anything that you want. Well, most things that you want in life. It's just a matter of knowing what you want. A lot of people jump out. Let me go back. I'm figuring out how far down this tree I want to start. So let me start. Let me get to the deepest part of it. I think a lot of people have an idea, but it's not an original idea of what a relationship should be. So if I told you I was in a relationship, you and both of you, I'm sorry, what's your name? I see Zhane. Say again? Demetria. Tenetria with an N.
Kenetria.
T.
K.
Kenetria.
K-metria.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Kenetria.
That was close. We'll work on it.
Zhane and Kenetria. I can tell you I'm in a relationship right now, and you already have it set in your mind what that means. Okay, so you're with this person, you two are exclusive. Either they go over your house, you go over them, you're looking to move in together, you're looking to eventually have children, you're looking to get married one day, you may want to have whatever it is. People have an idea of what a relationship means as soon as they hear it. And I think that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Every relationship should have its own definition and meaning to what that means for the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or however you define your relationship. But it should have its own thing. And a lot of time people, number one, they automatically try to fit in the mold of what society tells them a relationship is supposed to be. So oftentimes you're setting yourself up for failure up front because you didn't take the time to define. You and that person or partner or parties or entities did not take the time to uncover and discuss what a relationship means to you.
Right.
That's just the first part.
Yeah.
See what I mean? That's freaking. And what's the other part?
So then after that, once you know what you want, then you define boundaries, you define parameters, and I'm so big on this. You got to have principles. See, principles supersede feelings. So even when you find somebody that you like, you find someone that you're interested in, you got to have certain principles. And those principles need to go along with the things that you say that you want, even before emotions or anything like that get involved. So it's certain things like, you know, if they're on drugs and you don't do drugs, I don't care. It don't matter how much I like them.
Right.
That's just my principles say that I am not going to join in a connection with someone who does something that I'm opposed to.
Okay.
Somebody who don't believe in marriage. Someone, if you believe in marriage, that's what I'm saying. Some people, it's two people. You can find two people, neither one of them believe in marriage, or certain people believe in it, but they don't believe in written government contracts. You got to know those things up front. Some people don't want children.
Right.
What are your parameters? What's your priorities? Like, those things have to be in place, because, you know, from a partner standpoint, I cannot move forward in a relationship.
It's like what are the deal breakers? Some stuff some things can change. I may, you know, right now I may not be in a position where I want to have children. 5 years from now, that may change.
Right.
Sure. But at the same, like you said, with the substance abuse, that's a deal breaker. There's no flexibility, no room for change in that. So you also have to know those things too. What things are you solid? There's no change.
Right.
Yeah. And then what has because we have to give each other allow each other space and time to grow, because people change, principles, ideals, expectations can change.
Yeah.
Right.
So much goes into, I think the first thing is be willing to just be open-minded and open-hearted enough to get to know somebody.
That part,
right.
Really get to know them.
Like, just get to know them. Don't do nothing else.
Women, we have a bad habit of falling in love with potential.
And
I can change this. I can change that. No. And it's not. Get to know him as he is.
Yes.
So what you're talking about like a lot of what you're talking about is preferences.
Yeah.
It's okay to change preferences.
Right.
You shouldn't change principles, but it's okay to change preferences.
Absolutely.
So if he's not, 6'2", bald headed, and that's a preference. That don't have to be. There's no principle involved in that. So if you see somebody who's not your ideal preference, and you can say, "Oh, well, that's okay."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there's certain principles that usually go to the character of a person, that goes to their values as well, that you shouldn't bend on.
Yeah, there's no ambition, there's no drive, there's no sense of self-motivation, and I need you to. There's no, not necessarily confidence in just appearance, but there's a certain standard you have to have set for yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
If you hold yourself at a high standard, what in the hell are you gonna do for me?
Yeah, no. That's a hard, a lot to go into that.
But if you want a relationship, you want to have a solid commitment. I think we're always in relationship with one another, one way or the other.
Oh yeah, always.
The difference is you make a choice to commit to an individual. Because we're all in relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But have I made the choice? Have we made the choice to commit? Mm-hmm. And when you make that choice, that's when everything changes.
Yeah, that's when everything changes.
Everything changes at that point.
But it has to be you knowing yourself and knowing those things about what you want and what you don't want.
Right.
I think that is it's a big thing for me that you said principles, because I have a lot of things in place, my boundaries and all those things, but I haven't really touched on principles. That's not something that I've touched on. And I do know some of those, because I'm like, okay, I've known to be like, oh, I'm not about to deal with that with this person. But that was my principle, but I never put them in place and been like, okay, these things, I'm just not going to go for with any guy. It's just like a pick and choose thing. So
you don't know what they are sometimes until they violate it.
Exactly.
Oh, hell no, I ain't.
That part, she figure it out that way.
Sometimes you know ahead of time.
Yeah, I don't want to figure it out when it's all bad. Let me figure it out before. So getting to know somebody, I think that's where we should be at right now, as far as dating goes, or any type of relationship, just getting to know somebody for real.
Yeah, take time. We want everything right now, instant.
Right.
We want to meet somebody, fall in love, make money, be chasing the bag.
Microwave society.
Right. Find out what the nigga like to eat.
I know, do you even know his life? What the
exactly.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Take your time.
I feel like when I say that it's okay to refresh if you are in a relationship, to refresh, asking each other questions that you may or may not know. and to kind of make sure that this person is still, vibing with you. Otherwise, what are we doing if I'm asking you these questions and you really don't know the answer to them? That kind of.
Yeah,
So that's one of the things too.
Yeah,
a lot of times when men and women come to an agreement,
Hmm.
either one or both parties don't fully agree on the agreement that they
That's true.
men are real bad for this.
Let me just say,
Men will go
yeah.
along with it often, but that's not really in a perfect world what they want. Number one, and then number two, it's
Why do that though?
because
It's not a
you don't want to shrink your pool.
But why do you feel like you would be?
Because I don't see, and that goes back to the part you got to know yourself as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to be with somebody.
Some people jump in that and they don't really know themselves, and that goes back to what I originally said.
Mm-hmm.
So they will agree to the terms and conditions on something that they really don't agree to, but it's not like what the woman or what the man or what they're asking them is out of bounds. It's pretty much a societal norm.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
But
So they go along with it because, well, yeah, that's what my mom and daddy been telling me to do, and that's what everybody, and that's what my friends are doing. So they like, in order for me to be in a relationship, I have to fit into this mold of what a relationship is in our society.
That sounds like settling.
And you just go along with it.
That
Most
sounds
people
like
do.
settling.
Yeah, we're not encouraging any person to settle for shit. Okay.
It's definitely can. I can
Like,
understand
no.
I can understand the motivation to settle. It's kind of like, well, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it type of thing. But at the same time, just because it ain't broke, don't mean it can't be improved. Or,
That part,
you know,
I
or
really can't be developing and
Yeah,
progressing. I don't want to just be here. Like,
But it don't mean that they're settling, though. It just means that they're trying to fit themselves in a place that they are not meant to be.
That's not being true to yourself.
It's not being how many of us
are true to ourselves?
You gotta know yourself to be true to yourself. Most people don't really know themselves.
Damn.
It's quite the journey. That's all I can say.
I'm like, no, I just feel like that's a bad habit when it comes to men. Like, that's a really,
Women do it too.
We do, but I feel like when the men I've dealt with, that's been an issue, and I don't like that. Like, can you have your own mindset, own brain, make up your own? Tell me what
Sometimes
you think.
They feel pressure to do that.
But we don't pressure. We just ask you, what do you want?
That's pressure.
It's kind of like, all right, I got an analogy. It's kind of like a diet. If you ever go on a diet, you have a contract with yourself internally that I'm going to stop eating this. I'm only going to eat this. I'm only going to eat it these times a night. I'm only going to, I'm going to stay away from these foods, blah, 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 blah. It's not in your heart to do it. Right. It's not something that you really principled about doing it. Like some people who are, fitness gurus, it's really in them to do it from a principle standpoint. But for somebody like me, I just need to drop 25 pounds. So I'm going to do this. And the moment I achieve the results that I wanted, most people stop doing it. And they go back to their old habits. So that's even in a relationship. I'm going to chill out. Let me calm down. Let me make sure I spend time with this one right here. I know it sounds bad, don't it?
It does.
Well, my point is, it wasn't never in your heart to do it. And if you don't have it in your heart to do it, and if you're not driven by principles, later on, once you achieve what you said you wanted to achieve, you're going to break those principles and it ain't going to mean nothing to you.
That's sad to me, especially when it comes to relationships, because that's time that you will not get back.
Yep.
You've made an investment in something that you really don't have any.
I find that to be weird because sometimes our investments are not, well, I just feel like sometimes women and men, our investments are not the same. They don't really take on as much mentally as we do. They might, but I'm saying, speaking on women, my point, I feel like we take on a lot mentally. And so on their behalf, it's pressure or it's this or it's that. And for us, it's just like, I just want to make you happy. I just want to give you whatever it is that you need. And it's like, whatever I give you is not enough. And I guess that's where that comes in.
We don't even know what he needs.
That's what I'm saying. That's where that comes in. He don't know what he needs.
He's trying to tell him what he needs to make him happy.
We can't figure that out together. You got to know that by yourself. And then I could, come in and add that, but I can't add to something that we don't even know. So yeah, guys, women, guys, study and work and make sure that you work on your mentality, work on your mental state when it comes to knowing yourself or knowing whoever you're trying to date or do whatever with. But walking around with the mentality that you're right and that you can date whoever you want and do whatever you want, it's not okay, because eventually it's going to fuck up your mental state. And I just feel it would be better off for you just to get to know these people, and you'll figure out if you like them or you don't like them before you date them. Like, that's time not wasted. And I don't want to waste any more of my time, like dead ass. I don't want to waste no more time, no more energy on people that don't want to feed into me the way that I'm feeding into them. So no. Mentally,
we need to start nurturing ourselves too.
Yes.
The most important relationship you want to
that
have
is
with yourself.
all I'm preaching. Like, that's
Nurture
all
that
I'm
one
preaching.
first.
Please do, because
Love on yourself, because I think it's wrong to bring somebody into your life when you know you got all this baggage and issues, and you want somebody to help you unload. And it's like, wait a minute.
Well, at what point did you ever fully know yourself?
I don't know if you ever fully do, but I think
you should know enough.
I think I'm at a point in my life now where I can definitely say that I can hold myself accountable for all of it, and it's a lot.
Right. Well, but that's my point, though. Most people have not, and like I agree. You never fully know yourself. You are continually evolving.
Right.
But to know yourself enough to where you know what you want and you know the type of person you want to invite into your space.
Yes.
A lot of people who have never fully understood that, how can you put the responsibility on them to make those right choices and to refrain from jumping into a relationship?
That's good.
When they it's they should, but the truth is people not.
No,
that's really wow.
That's why the divorce rate is so high. That's why so many people are in relationships where they're together in the same household, but he over here, she over there.
It makes no sense.
Like, remember when COVID first started and people were quarantined?
Yeah.
So many people was tripping about being at home with their loved ones. I'm like, what y'all doing?
Oh my God, what have y'all been doing this whole time? Like, not getting to know each other.
Yeah, I'm upset about being at home with your man. Because your woman
got that routine. We're gonna come home, we're gonna go to work, we might have sex, we might do this, but we're gonna do it all over again.
Like, you have no choice but to really commune together and live together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like this person.
Yeah, after you built this whole little life with them.
And that spoke volumes to me when I witnessed how people was tripping about being at home.
That was a big deal.
I'm like, my God.
That was a really big deal. But
it was crazy.
It was something that everybody didn't even notice they needed. They needed to sit down and like have a moment to themselves.
I wish there was a way to see statistically how many relationships ended versus how many
babies you had.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I wonder what outweighs the other.
I had a COVID baby.
No! Congratulations. Yeah,
to me, that's a success story.
Yeah, there was.
You
I
know,
know for a fact there was a bunch of them. So I would love to.
That's a good thing.
Bruh.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I want to know. People was just in the house, just getting their free.
I think that's beautiful.
I want to know things now. That's a little bit mind blowing for me.
That's good. Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, and it can be affirmational for people as well. Like you being around each other all the time, and then you be like, "Oh, we're gonna be good."
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we chill, we good.
He got a good partner. That's why he's saying
that's great.
That's really great, because some people are like ready to kill.
Right. I heard that too.
Like the toothpaste and stuff now.
Put the top back on the damn toothpaste. Like, you were like,
always doing the nasty damn juice. Nigga, it really ain't about the juice at that point.
No, definitely not. Like, and you gotta stop making and having arguments about shit, and when you really just want to be done. Like, if you want to be done, go ahead. But stop making the corny ass arguments, because that's just annoying as fuck. Like, you wasting my time.
Right. So this might be side note, but I'm gonna say this too.
Please.
Especially in a relationship. Do not don't the little stuff, let the little stuff go. Like I was married for 10 years. I've been divorced for I don't know, about split for 4 or 5 years. But people underestimate how important those little things are. You look at it like, yeah, we go back and forth about little stuff. But what you're doing is you're breaking down communication.
Right.
And if a person can't trust you to chill out about small stuff, you think they're going to come to you about some big stuff or important stuff or meaningful stuff? And it's like, the moment we have to have a conversation or a conversation is needed, a person, male or female, they're like, I ain't even got the time. I just got off work. I rather hold my peace for today than to have meaningful conversation that can help us later down the road.
Yeah.
And you'll just kick it down the road. And though it's the little things that build up, and what it really does is it builds separation and communication. You don't want to do that. It's not worth it. And you'll get to a place to where you're not even talking. You can't talk to each other right. And you be like, where did this come from? Like, what's wrong? It's not even anything specific or major. It's just little stuff. You gotta don't sweat the small stuff. You gotta overlook that.
Yeah, you need to take a corner, go outside, figure out stuff.
Especially like some of the like I know older Black couples that I've talked to will tell you that get somebody that you can talk to.
Yeah.
Because at some point that's all you're gonna have anyway. Is conversation. So if you can't converse about things that bother you or things that make you happy or things that whatever it is, if I can't converse with you, where are we gonna go from there?
Just look at each other.
There's nowhere to go from there.
I don't want to look at you. Bruh, no.
If I can't talk to you, guaranteed they're gonna find somebody to talk to.
That is true. That is true.
Open the door for somebody else to come on in.
Everything is communication. So I don't know how you be with someone or be around someone and not communicate with them.
I would like to ask you a question, Q. I know you're not the spokesperson for every man, and but
yes, I am. I'm the official spokesperson for every man in the world.
Man, I got some questions.
Oh yeah. Oh, look. All right, you put it like I'll give you the real. Let's go.
But I'm here. Okay. But real
you ain't gonna like the answer.
So many of my friends talk about, he won't talk to me. You hear women say it all the time. He won't communicate, or I ask him something, he'll shut down.
I say that.
What advice would you give to women to help us kind of understand how to interpret what he's saying versus what he might not be saying? Like, how do we respond to that?
Or should we just not?
Or should we just let it be what it is? Like, what would you say?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it could be several things, but so the answer I'm gonna give you is not the end all be all answer, but this is some of the things. Number one is a man is interested in motive. If you are asking a question and he doesn't understand, or get why you're asking it, then he'll be hesitant and he'll be quiet. That's one of the instances. So if any question that you ask, the first question, he's like, where's this coming from? Why this? So I encourage some of my friends a lot of time, if you have a question, explain why you're asking the question. If a man knows where you're coming from and why you're asking the question, he'll be like, oh, okay. Like, we kind of straightforward like that. But sometimes women ask these like ambiguous questions, and it's like, hold on, where are you trying to? And this ain't all the time, but a lot of times it's like, are you trying to? It almost feel like a lawyer sometimes. Lawyers ask these roundabout questions to lead up to a gotcha moment.
Oh, and we do that.
That makes sense.
Women will do that.
I just want the answer.
Right. And it's not all the time, but sometimes when it's that, then a man is like, it's so even a simple, innocent word, so how do you feel about me? And the man like, where's this going? Where's this going?
It's so simple.
It depends on when we ask too. Like, don't ask why he playing. He like, third round in the whatever game he on. Yeah, he
right. That can play a role too.
You come out the room, you've been
watching TV, watching a movie or something.
And you can tell, hey, I was having a conversation with Zhane, and we was asking, about how does a man know when he found the one, and this and this and that. And then you ask the question, he knows where you're coming from. Right. He's more open to answer the question. Yeah. Where if you just ask the question, he don't understand the angle, he gonna be kind of closed mouth and silent, because he's like, I don't know where this is going, so I'm going to be quiet until I can fill out where you're trying to go with this.
Yeah, it's like, is that a like, I don't want to get in trouble, or I don't want to start an argument kind of vibe.
Right. It could be either one. It could be, I don't want to get in trouble. He might be up to no good and he don't want to get in trouble. He trying to find out what you know.
Okay, so what if the motive that she has is I really want to just know how you feeling, like what's on your mind.
So yes, good. That's the other thing is, I say this to a lot of people. You have to earn that conversation. And what I mean by that is, if the only time you have conversations is when you're talking about that type of stuff, he ain't gonna be open to talk about it. Now, if you talk to him about his game or you talk to him about his day and you share in exchange and you talk about your stuff and how you feeling, and once you have those open lines of communication, then that's a fair question. But it's like the only time you want to talk to me is when you feeling insecure about the way we operating or something like that. It's not you haven't created that flow of exchange.
Okay, that's some real shit.
Yes, definitely is.
Yeah.
We are just so y'all know, I don't know about her, but I definitely am in the process of learning more about men. And I say that just because I don't know about y'all, but I have daddy issues. Daddy issues in the sense that my dad wasn't there. Not like it bothers me or affects me. But when it comes to dating a man, not knowing these key details, it's harder for you to kind of understand. And I know it's hard for them to understand us. So for me to learn about them, I feel like it'll be a little bit easier for me to know what the heck I'm dealing with and how to deal with it versus like just being what I was taught or what I saw to another man. So yeah.
But that goes both ways. So and that's one of the things I learned by doing Free Thinkers. And one of the reasons I'm so open, if you ever listen to any of my podcasts, I tell a lot about my life and my experiences because I ask people a lot of personal, intrusive questions. And I don't have the right to ask you that if I'm not willing to be open and transparent myself.
Right.
I can't ask you personal stuff about your life and I'm not willing to tell you anything about mine or my thought processes or my insecurities or my fears or times when I've been hurt or upset or depressed. If I don't speak about those things, then I haven't earned the right to ask you. So it gotta be give and take.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
And it shouldn't be scary to be, or it shouldn't be difficult to be that vulnerable with somebody.
Oh, it is.
To be in a relationship with.
It is. It's absolutely difficult.
I think I'm a little bit too open.
I think I can too. That's what I'm saying. We can tell everything and be okay with it, but for them, it's like
because you practice being open and transparent is something that you have to practice.
Okay, then we did a good job on that part. I could say that. No, we just have to step back a little bit and let that person work on their stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
because we can't do that for them. So. Wow.
Right.
Look
that's
at
definitely
him.
something to think about.
We're gonna have to bring him back on here. He's gonna have to give us some
anytime
on how we do this, because honestly, I swear, sometimes it feels like you're losing your shit. Okay, but we're gonna get it together now that we got some things to use in that area.
I want to talk more about, so maybe not right now, but at some point, about just how much do our mommy or daddy issues affect us in relationships. Because that's been a big one for me. I think it's something we don't really talk about a lot in our community, in our culture.
And I feel like we don't
just
see
how
or
much,
act like it affects us.
How much of that do we carry into our relationships from what we experienced
or didn't experience? How much we actually do carry. We just probably blind to it.
Because daddy issues can go, like you said, he can be an absent father, or he can have been present and been abusive.
Yeah.
Right.
Which was my story.
Yeah.
So we have daddy issues, but two different spectrums.
Yeah.
And how does that affect us in relationships?
Yeah.
I'm sure it does.
Yes, it definitely does. I wonder how it affects us in choosing our person. I want to know that part.
What are we conscious of? And then what are those subconscious?
Most of it, the influence is unconscious.
Yeah.
That is most of it. And it's I'd say you can say what you want to a child, but they're gonna follow what you do more than what you say.
What we see. And that can be some very broken ways.
And they'll be compliant. So what you tell them as a child, they're not gonna cuss, so they're gonna say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, and they're gonna follow your lead.
Right.
But as they grow into themselves, they're gonna follow what they saw you do, not what you said.
Right.
I don't think we teach I know for me as a woman, teaching your daughter to understand what is a man's role in your life? Like what, do you really understand and respect what a man's place is? Like what is, you know what I mean? Because I know I grew up here, a man is a provider. He's a provider. He's a
Protector
provider.
and all these.
Yeah, and that
goes
goes about an expectation. You're supposed to protect me, provide for me, make me feel safe, make sure but it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Look.
It's the dangerous part.
Yes.
So the dangerous part is one or two things. You're gonna follow the example that was shown to you, or if you don't have an example of what was shown to you, you're gonna
Create one.
You're gonna follow examples what's told to you, and what's told to you may not even be accurate.
You raised by a whole bunch
It
of
can be off. So
women.
you get a whole lot of people who following after what they think it means, and that even goes to relationships. That's what killed me about a lot of people in relationships. It's like they just go off of what they think a relationship means. I'm like, you have no idea. Do you know, Johnny and Susie who've been married for 50 years, and they like, oh, that's so cute. Those are my goals. I'm like, you know what they've been through in order to make it 50 years?
Right.
Like, you have no idea. If they actually told you their stories, I knew some people who was married that, they were 50 years up. They were married and they look like the cutest couple that you've never seen. But you be around them, let you tell them no. He was a cheater. He was a beater. She shot him at one point in time. They went through hell. They look cute as an old couple now.
Right.
But you don't know what it actually took to get them there.
That's right.
So it's.
And that's one of my questions also. Is it that I gotta go through this crazy shit to get to the point of where we are, or is there like ever gonna be, not to say it's not good times, but
I think we expect it to be smooth sailing. You're very
not smooth sailing, but that sounds toxic as fuck. Like that sounds hella toxic.
Yeah.
Can you stand the rain? Come on.
And it may not be to that extreme.
Right.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But let me say this. So, give another example. Numerically or statistically, I guess you would say. In at least 50% of marriages, throughout the course of that marriage, at least one person will cheat.
Damn.
Statistically.
Yeah.
At least one person, either the man or woman or both. At least. So what I'm saying is, going into a marriage, there's at least a 50% chance that one of you will cheat throughout the course of the marriage, whether you stay together, whether you divorce, whatever. That's the statistics. So
should that be the expectation?
That's the question. Expectation. I don't want to say expectation, but for people who, dang, it's gonna sound hard. All right, so for people who that's an automatic deal breaker for them,
yeah,
you gotta ask yourself, according to the numbers, is it a good idea for you to get married?
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense.
But see, that's a problem for me, because I don't want my relationship to have any. Is it naive to not want my relationship to be affected by statistics?
I don't necessarily think it's that. I think you just think that's something that you should consider also.
Right.
It's a deal breaker for you, but only if it's a deal breaker.
Even whether it is or whether it isn't, you, a person who doesn't entertain the possibility that it could happen, I don't think that you should get in a relationship.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, no, if I can't, no, I couldn't. Like, well, you understand if you get married, it's a strong possibility.
That this will happen.
Yeah,
strong possibility.
I'm open to the possibility of it might not be you being cheated on. You could end up being cheated yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you just
Absolutely.
don't know.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So that chance is there, though.
Yeah. So, is it only a deal breaker if you're the one that's doing the cheating, or if you've been cheated on? Like, you have to kind of look at that from both sides.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think women, we automatically, eventually.
And then let me take it a step further. If you, in your mind, whether you male or female, people think that saying if they cheat, then I'm not automatically going to divorce them. They think that gives a license for the other person to go do it. And it's like,
Oh,
no, that's not it's not a license for if you with the right person, that is not their goal. That's not their desire. That's not what they want to do.
mhm.
But what I was going to say is, if you make it clear, absolutely clear, that if you cheat, it's done, it's over, there's no question about it. What is the chance do you think that man or woman is actually going to be honest with you if they do?
Yeah.
If they feel in a certain way,
Right.
if they think it's something even before we get to that point, do you think they're going to be honest and open with you
No.
when they know that it's the end?
Yeah.
Like, those are things that you have to think about. It's like,
I'm the kind of person, because I just don't got time to be searching through all that shit. But if it comes to me and I find out, then yeah.
Is that something that needs to be discussed out loud? Or can it be
does.
It does?
It should be. And people think it's like the condom conversation with parents and children. A lot of, I grew up in a religious background, and they felt like if we taught our kids about condoms, we were encouraging them to have sex. No, you're just educating
them to be safe if they should have sex.
Right. You're showing people how to make proper decisions.
Right. And it's also like, I'm not naive to kids doing what kids do. So instead of me trying to avoid it or act as if it could not happen, let me kind of be ahead of the curve.
Right.
Prepared.
So even in a relationship, don't be naive to what adults do.
Exactly.
Thank you. Okay.
Precautionary preparedness type of thing.
All those words.
Instead of trying to be,
Bruh. Yeah, stop acting. That's all it is. The fucking acting. And I feel like it's like, okay, some shit is gonna fucking happen. And how you deal with it, how you react to it, that's up to you. That's all.
But even with most, I think women even more so than men. Well, men too probably. But what you want? You want communication and honesty. I hear it all the time.
All the time.
Don't lie. You ain't gotta lie. Well, number one, make sure that you're creating a space for him to feel comfortable to tell you the truth.
Amen. Yes.
And then you can. I don't know. You could talk things. It's you got to give people a space to talk things out. And for a man, it's extra hard because a lot of times, even women usually have one or two girlfriends that they can just chop up everything. I know a lot of men who they don't have that person that they can just
because guys
get
don't
it all out.
What women do. I can talk to my friend and then she can see my nigga the next day and be okay with him. Guys talk shit and feeling some type of way about so and so's girlfriend the next day.
But you know what's ironic though? Since I have so many male friends, I have been that shoulder for them. So men, that's crazy. But men will. I've had some men open up
with you,
with me,
not a man.
And I've been thinking, but you're in a whole relationship. If your girl knew you was talking to me like this,
I would be mad.
That would not be good. Right. But at the same time, if she's not creating that space for him,
what does that space look like? Can somebody tell me what that space looks
like? What does that space look like?
The freedom to express yourself without initial. See, listen, I know some people. If I said I was, say I was in a relationship where I'm curious about exploring or being with another person or inviting somebody else, because usually, let's be honest, oftentimes it's sexual.
Right.
Even mentioning that, I know for some people, you gonna get the third degree, just because you meant. Like I ain't even did nothing. I just wanted to tell you how I was feeling, and you gonna get the third degree. Well, if that's the case, then just gonna be with that trick and this and this and this. And it's like I was just trying to tell you how I felt.
I'm like, hey, I don't.
That goes all the way back to if we have you created, like you said earlier about have you established that level of communication.
Right.
You got a young woman in your life that's she struggled with some insecurities, or if there's been infidelity in her past, even if it's not with you, if there's infidelity in her past, you can't come in here talking about having threesomes.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely.
You just created a whole problem when you should be paying attention to where she was at.
Paying attention.
And knowing that I can't approach her with this right now.
Yes. Or maybe she's not gonna be that person.
She may not be that person.
Right. So maybe
and that was one of the mistakes that I made in my last relationship with my ex-wife.
Yeah.
I didn't truly realize the insecurities that she had. And it was, you can't, everything ain't the same. Like, so I'm gonna give y'all some real shit. So about a year and a half, 2 years into our marriage, she cheated.
Oh,
In
Damn.
return, maybe a year or two after that, I cheated. A couple years, it was a back and forth thing. Like we were both we're both cheaters now.
Yeah, funny. I'm sorry.
So the question, I mean, it is what it is now. It don't matter. So you know, you learn to face
Right.
yourself eventually.
Yeah,
So let me say that the question is, you start to ask yourself, well, if we both doing this, then maybe we need to either part ways or we need to redefine how we want this relationship. So even us trying to redefine how we wanted this relationship, I had to, this is another reason how I missed it. The reason why I cheated and the reason why she cheated was two totally different things.
Yeah,
They were always gonna be too different.
So I could just say, well, if we both cheating, then maybe we just need to listen. It ain't the cheating that's killing us, it's the lying that's killing us. So why don't we just be open and honest about how we want to move and how we want to operate, and then that way we can get the lying out the equation and then kind of connect back together. Good strategy, good plan, but not realizing the reason that we both cheated wasn't the same reason. She was cheating out of a lot of insecurity and stuff like that. And even me saying those type of things just added more insecurity to her.
Right.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, well, you just don't care then. Like, well, nigga, we both doing the same thing. But
Exactly.
you just gotta understand where people are. So that's, you know.
Like a boy, you was just getting dick with.
That is very big. You gotta, for me, I don't really care if we agree on something and we're talking about something and you have an issue. I don't have to agree, but I do need to understand. That part, I need you to understand where I'm coming from, where I'm at, all those different things, because I'm going to understand you regardless of what you're talking about. I feel like is not something I agree with, but to understand somebody is to say, all right, I got what you're saying. I understand why you did it. I might didn't like it. I can't change it. It's going to affect me in some way, but at the same time, I understand. Like, that's just really what that is. So what happened? Like, did y'all come to agreement? Did y'all...
They got a divorce.
Divorce.
Okay.
Divorce.
Okay, so yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
How come did you all try to like the open relationship phase or did that?
Right, kind of tried it, but it again. The reason I proposed it wasn't the reason that, you know, like I said, the reason I cheated wasn't the reason that she cheated.
Yeah.
So I was just like, look, if I'm looking at it from a man physical perspective, if we just, you know, we need to get our rocks off sometime, if we just have different desires, this and this and that, then instead of lying about it, let's be open and talk about, you know, what it is that we want to do. But that wasn't the case for her.
Yeah. When she cheated, did that cause you to have a different perspective or a perception of her as your woman?
No, it didn't. And that was dangerous for me. I don't listen.
Wow.
Let me tell you.
Normally,
and this is part of it. I've been doing free thinker / meeting of the minds for maybe 12, 13 years. So part of it is the conversations that I have, even the conversations that I have. I would have the sidebar conversations, the DMs. I know so much about just things that happen with people in marriages, relationships. Nothing, I mean, literally nothing surprises me. Like what the thing I appreciate doing meetings the way that I do, it's shown me human nature on all forms. Mm-hmm. So cheating to me, that's I don't look at you different as a person. I'm like, okay, what is this? What do we, you know, is this something that, what is it? You know, is this something that do we need to change the way that we doing it? Was it a one-time thing? Was it a,
I don't know. I think that comes with age, because I think a younger person see that or that happens to them, they ain't gonna have that mentality. They gonna be like,
it just depends on
because they internalize stuff. This is okay. So this is the other thing, Zhane. What I've learned is even dealing with the craziness of people, even when they lash out and do things toward other people, it's usually not that person.
Yeah, it's something else.
Like, ain't nobody force you to do nothing. You have something internally with you that caused you to operate however you is, whether it caused you to cheat, whether it caused you to lie, whether it caused you to break your own word against your relationship. That's still on you. That
Mhm.
ain't me, because I know a lot of people in bad relationships and they still don't cheat.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
for you to cheat, that's still something within you. So long story short, for me, where the difference when you say a lot of people get their feelings, they take it personal. Like, I couldn't believe they did that to me. No, they didn't do that to me. They did that this is their walk of life. It wasn't nothing to me. It don't take nothing. It takes nothing away from me.
Yeah.
It don't mean that I'm insufficient or I didn't have the ability to do it. No,
Yeah.
that's them and their walk.
Right.
Yeah. That's the mindset we have to like really dive into, staying on that path, but then knowing I'm good, I'm here, I'm good, I don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
That's not easy though for women, I think.
No,
because when a
we have
man
that problem
cheats,
a lot.
because
Right.
like me growing up, I've always heard men are visual, so if a man is attracted to another woman, his attention is taken away from who he's with based on how she looks. Something about her was attracted to him. So how do you not internalize that and say, okay, well, if
You got to realize human nature. Realize human nature, because it ain't even, the next woman ain't even better, just different.
No, it's not.
That's all. So you beautiful chocolate thing that I see right there in a relationship after 3 or 4 years, and this I use this oftentimes, strip club analogy. If a man go, I always got strip club analogies. If a man go to a strip club, 9 times out of 10, if you my girl, when I go to a strip club, I'm gonna find me a high yellow bone thing, this and this. What I'm going to look at something that's different than what I already have. Not that it's better, just different. If I have me a yellow bone at home, fine yellow bone could be the finest thing in the world. If I go to a strip club, most people, they're gonna find the chocolatest thing they can find. It's different from what they currently have. It don't take away from you. It just means that we attracted to variety. The same reason why, what's your favorite food?
Mine is seafood.
Seafood, which shrimp, fish, shrimp. As much as you like shrimp, do you eat shrimp every day, 7 days a week?
No, definitely not. But then it comes back to, so should I marry somebody if I don't want to eat shrimp 7 days a week? Like, okay, should I have a different variety for my palate? Like, what?
No, you don't. But that's
only a man can really grasp, because we just heard, okay, nigga, so I'm shrimp, but you say you want steak. You don't want everybody to steak.
You could be steak and shrimp.
That just, a woman's
You
not
could
gonna
be
say
steak
that.
and shrimp. You can be steak and shrimp.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna see. I'm
You trying to be a steak and shrimp.
But what I'm saying is, you could be the top of the. It don't take away from you. You could be the top of the top of the food.
Yeah.
But I still might like ramen noodles every once in a while.
That's okay, because I think that goes both ways. So it's not like it's not like women don't do that. It's something that happens.
We just
human nature.
See the ramen noodles, but come home and eat the steak.
She said, "I want you to see."
You can look at the ramen noodles.
I wish that there was
come on home and get you a steak, baby.
I wish that there was no desire to see the ramen.
So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, if you like all of it, you like the variety, but if you got to choose one to eat every day, then I'm gonna take the steak and shrimp.
Right.
Even though your preference internally, instinctively, your preference ain't to eat the steak and shrimp every day. Just like, I mean, in the real situation, we don't eat our favorite food. We don't eat it every day.
You don't even want it every day.
Yeah. No, I couldn't eat shrimp every day.
But if we had to choose
shrimp every day, it would no longer be your favorite. Eventually, you're not gonna want no damn shrimp. Trust me.
Different ways.
Yeah, but at some point you're gonna be like, man, I'm tired of eating this shrimp. You know what I think?
I could become vegan.
I
could be vegan. Like, I don't have to look at none of those. But no, I totally understand what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense. It's different when you say it in an analogy, okay? Versus
I just say find you somebody who likes steak and shrimp. Y'all can have steak and shrimp together.
Yeah, we can add a little chicken.
Yeah.
A little turkey.
You can have a whole buffet in this bitch. You can be like, make sure you come on home.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'm the main course though. Just
be
clear on that.
absolutely.
Yeah. That is so funny.
Even the main course, there's still appetizers and dessert
Exactly.
comes along with it.
I like appetizers too. Nigga, just make sure we
So hold on. Okay, so again, if I was on a cruise a couple months ago. If they asked you, all right, you can only have one, the appetizer, the main course, the dessert, or the cocktail, I'm still choosing the main course. I want the main course, but
See, my greedy ass. Like,
yeah, appetizer. But you typically don't pick the appetizer over the main course.
No.
Well,
But you still like the appetizer.
see, I like to skip all that and say, bring me the dessert, baby.
It's gonna hurt your stomach.
Some people do that.
Not me. I'm a sugar fiend.
And something, see, and you might pick your dessert. And then later on down the road, then your diet is messed up. But
right. But hey, I enjoyed it in the moment. See,
exactly.
That's another
Exactly.
perspective. It may not be the ideal perspective, but it is one.
That's just the truth. And then some people living for that moment.
Thank you.
They got that sweet tooth and they ate yeah.
I cannot. Oh my God, dude. I think that was a great podcast. Okay. We talked about great topics on here. I love the fact that we were able to hear from a man versus
I definitely
hearing from
things. Thank you, Q.
Yes, we did. And
Thank you for having me. Absolutely.
He said, "Thank you for having me."
Yeah, we're gonna have you.
Look how quick she was like, "What?"
No, we're gonna have you back.
Black woman.
No, I'm trying to bring you on his Free Thinkers Tuesdays.
Okay.
This Tuesday coming up.
Oh,
Yeah. 8:00. That's what time it is.
I don't mind personal questions, so just throw them at me.
Yeah. So I'm trying to bring them with me. Trying to bring the other co-hosts with me too, because I love the way that the different perspectives that they have. I like it. So I would love to bring them on so that we can talk about some things and
absolutely
some training and stuff. So just be prepared. She got a little firecracker in her sometimes, so just want
good.
To be aware ahead of time. But we will see you guys another time. This will be on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, wherever you think that you want to go download an app from, we'll be on there. But you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Born Alegaxcy 2020. And make sure that you guys go follow Free Thinkers Podcast. That's how I say? Free Thinkers Podcast. They're on Facebook. Do you have Instagram?
We're on YouTube. Free Thinkers Worldwide on YouTube.
Free Thinkers Worldwide
and Facebook. They're on Facebook Live every Tuesday at 8. You guys can go on there and join in the live or just want to watch and comments. But we thank you so much for being here and engaging with us. And hopefully next time we have you back, we look forward to questions asking.
I love it.
Our perspective. Thank you guys for being here. I love you so much. Love you guys. I'll be here later.
you.